Welcome, everybody. Good morning. This is your session to discover the social and applied human sciences at the University of Guelph. And on our next slide, we'll have an overview of the webinar. So we'll first be looking at our social science programs. We'll talk about what it is that makes us unique. We'll get a chance to hear from a student, and then we'll talk about what the next steps are. Okay, so I'll just take a second to introduce myself. Good morning. My name is Samantha Blostein. I use pronouns she and her. I'm the Global Engagement Specialist in the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences. So I work in the area of inclusive student engagement and success. And we're a college that's part of the broader university, and we focus on programs that are in the social sciences. And I'll tell you on the next slide about some of our values. So we really look forward to welcoming you to the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences. We are the largest college on campus, and we trace our origins to this beautiful McDonald Institute building that you can see in the photo here. We're the university's center of excellence for community engagement and applied scholarship. So that means that we work directly with community in Guelph and around the world as part of our research and learning process. And we believe that equity and inclusion are key values. We're committed to creating a diverse and welcoming community on campus and in our programs in our college. And overall, our programs help students to prepare for employment readiness so that you're ready for work during and after your studies with us, so that you're engaged citizens who can work on social and environmental issues, and that you're ready to be a leader once you've finished studying with our programs. So overall, all of our areas focus on an expertise in the social sciences. You'll see some circles on your screen there. And what we're hoping to show is that our programs are really interdisciplinary, meaning that you get to cover a broad range of topics. And largely, they're looking in the areas of social, environmental, and at the human level. So here are all of our major programs that are listed here. And the ones that have the red square indicate that there's a co-op option available for those degree programs. So I'll just continue to tell you more about what it is that you can study within the social sciences at the University of Guelph. And what we've done is grouped our different areas into themes. So the first one is related to human health, well-being, and behavior. And the areas of study that you can focus on in this theme are child studies, applied human nutrition, family studies and human development, psychology, and neuroscience. So overall, people who study in these areas are really interested in uncovering the drivers of human behavior and helping people achieve their health and wellness goals. So our programs in this area on human health, well-being, and behavior look at human well-being from multiple angles and stages of life, and students choose to learn about the science of the brain, patterns and tendencies that drive human behavior, how to work with children, how well-being and relationships are impacted by factors across the lifespan, as well as the biological and societal aspects of human nutrition. Okay, so we'll move on to our next area. So these are our programs that focus on social justice, law, and public policy. And the theme or the areas of study in this theme are political science, criminal justice, and public policy, as well as justice and legal studies. So students who study in these areas focus on the forces that shape justice, law, and public policy. Politics and public policy play a really important role in the shaping of society and how we enact justice. And these areas dive deep into the causes of crime and the workings of the criminal justice system. Students in this area gain a deeper understanding of how justice and legal institutes shape and are also shaped by government and society. And students discover how power and politics influence the lives of individuals, family, and communities. And our next thematic area, our final thematic area, looks at society, environment, and global change. So the areas of study in this area are environmental governance, geography, environmental geomatics, environment and resource management, international development studies, and that's the program that I teach in, and sociology and anthropology. And I mentioned that I teach because two of the photos on your screen here are actually photos of myself with my class in International Development Studies. In this class, we partner with international organizations and we take on research projects on their behalf, which is really exciting. And these are some photos that we've taken with my class throughout the years and some of our community partners. And as you can see, everyone is really happy and smiley. So it's always a really fun and important project to work on. So on top of academics, it's really, really important to us to ensure that our students are successful, to ensure that our students are thriving and feeling welcomed and included in our classes and on a campus. And so I just wanted to highlight a few of the resources that we have available in our college specifically, and then also at the broader University of Guelph. So within the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences, we do have resources that are specific for our wonderful international students. So we have our International Student Network. This is a monthly meeting that I host along with one of my colleagues who's our inclusion advisor. This is a chance for international students to come together, to meet each other, to create that sense of community, but also for us to learn about student priorities while they're studying with us. And then we're able to take what we learn and make sure that we can act on it. We also have our Seesaw Student Alliance. So these are students from across all of our programs. We have special events that are focused on international student orientation when you first arrive. At the start of the academic year, we have various international student events throughout the year. We've got a culture share and potluck coming up in November. And then we also have dialogue with the dean. So this is an opportunity to meet directly with the senior leadership team of the college so that you can get to know them and that they can also hear from you. And then there's lots of other wonderful resources available at the University of Guelph. We've got our International Student Experience team. We have our International Student Advisors. There's the Cultural Diversity Office. And then we also have some academic support with library research and writing services, as well as mental health support in the Student Wellness Health Service Center. Okay, so that was a lot. What we hope you get from that is that we really love and care about our students and want you to have a very supported time while you're with us. Um, and now we also have an opportunity to get to hear from one of our students. So I will welcome the student who has now popped up on my screen, and I'm so thankful that you've joined us today. So first, why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself? What's your name? What's the program that you're studying in? Where is your hometown? And then we'll get into some of the questions that we have for you.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Wherever you're joining from the world, good morning or good evening or good afternoon. I'm Adia. I'm a third year BA psychology major in the co-op stream, minoring in marketing, and I'm from Delhi, India. Yeah, and I've been here for 2 years now, and so far it has been amazing, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know that you are at a conference today, so we extra appreciate you taking the time to join in. So we'll just get started with some of the questions that I have for you. So the first one is, why did you choose the University of Guelph? And what was it that stood out about Canada that made you to decide to want to study here?
Thanks for the question. So, Guelph is when I was looking for all the universities, we were going through all the universities, and Guelph stood out the most because it's a small city. It's a small town with so many resources and places so close by. Like Toronto, it's literally just an hour and a half away, so that's where I am. So it's really close to all the great amenities, but while also having that small town school and students, there are students everywhere, which kind of creates a very strong community. And when I was looking for schools, my dad found Guelph and he was like, oh my God, it is an amazing university because we are ranked comparatively higher in comprehensive universities, and we were looking at those rankings, and it was like the food, the housing, the community, all of that kind of built up to it. And even though I wasn't able to see a lot because I was international online, I was still able to like gauge from all everything what was online, and there was also a financial part, so including that, so it was comparatively cheaper as compared to some other big universities. So it was really the perfect match because of the great community culture, what we could see online, and also the financial part. And that's why I chose University of Guelph. Whereas why I chose Canada, it's a melting pot of amazing cultures. You meet people from all over the world, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just get to know people and have that community where everyone like meets and respects each other while also creating a family kind of thing. Um, so that's why I chose Canada because like it was an amazing idea, and when I came here, I was not let down.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Um, so you gave us some kind of general ideas in terms of why you chose Guelph in Canada. Now I want to ask specifically about your program. So what are you studying? Why did you choose your program? And what is your favorite thing about studying in psychology?
hmm So I love my program. If any of the future Griffins who are here who are in psychology, feel free to like connect with me. Or like if you do end up coming here, you'll find me and I'll gush about my program because I absolutely love studying psychology and minoring in marketing as well. Some of the amazing things like about my courses, like in first year, you have such a broad aspect. I was in a training and Sam was doing the training, and it's one thing about any of the BA programs is your scope is so big you can like try to be a part of other things as well because you learn transferable skills, and that's what first year is. You'll take some core courses about psychology, but you'll also take courses that are about anthropology or maybe even like marketing courses if you're minoring in that, or like just the scope of them helps you learn a wide variety of skill set. And as like I'm in third year right now, so third year I'm like slowly like going into a specification. So like what I want to do, it depends on that. Do I want to go into social psychology or do I want to go into behavioral psychology? And on the basis of that, you get to choose your pick and choose your classes. Um, so that is one of the reasons why I love it. I'm going to take a class where I get to dissect a goat brain. So that is really cool. So that's why I love it. And another thing about psychology co-op is really cool is I don't think any other universities offer it. At least it didn't when I was looking for it. But co-op is really important, especially as an international student, because you get the actual exposure in the Canadian job market, which you may or may not get if you go into like a normal stream of studies. And that could be really helpful as you graduate and you're trying to find an employer, be it in any industry, be it like industry in like business or even like psychology. So I would definitely say checking out the psychology co-op program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, I was actually just going to ask about that. So, in terms of hands-on experience, what are some opportunities that you've been able to take advantage of for hands-on opportunities? So, it could be things like working at various places on campus. You mentioned your co-op. We also have research assistant positions. So, what are some of the ways that you have been able to get involved in hands-on learning?
This question. So there are a lot of opportunities. It's not all of them are always paid. It's always between like volunteer and paid, but there are so many opportunities. It's just about looking at the right place. I feel like we might be a bit early about talking about this, but a great resource is Experience Guelph, where it's basically you have volunteer and jobs listed for students to apply. But there's so many opportunities in like different departments. You could work for like student services. You could, I'm a research assistant with a lab on campus. So it's a volunteer position, but I get exposure because I am working on a project with a PhD student and I get to learn what actually happens in the backside of all the research that we're studying about. There are like co-op opportunities, and you can also work at a dining hall, which I actually did, and it was amazing. I still go there and say hi to my co-workers, so opportunities are endless. It's about looking at the right place. And some very easy ways to like get involved on campus is like doing something like a volunteering, doing like an open house, which is probably happening tomorrow
Yes.
because we have an open house here. Um, and like going to different kinds of events or getting involved with a club, but those are some opportunities.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So the next question I'm going to ask is about campus resources. What places on campus have you found to be really helpful to get support? So it could be things like writing and research support, student experience, international student advisors. Maybe it's all of them, but from your experience, what have been those really helpful places where that have been supportive for you?
Thanks for that question. I have almost used as many supports as I can. Um, Something that I personally love, and this is gonna be like me kind of plugging myself, but I'm an RA, and first year of my RA was a great support. So RA is a residence assistant. When you come live in residence, and also I think international students are guaranteed residence.
Mm, yes.
So once you come live in residence, there's an upper year student who lives in the community support you, and they are an amazing resource because they know about all the other resources on campus. So if you do end up coming to Guelph, connect with your RA, that's a great spot. Student wellness is something which is amazing, not just because like there are doctors and nurses there, but there's also like mental health resources, and they even started doing some kind of group things, so that is a great spot. There is athletics, which is really cool. There are intramural leagues. So if you're not part of varsity, you can still like play intramurals at different levels, which is like just for fun, competitive, or really competitive. And you folks, as international students, would absolutely love to meet Matthew, Keith, and Erin.
Mhm.
Um,
Ernest.
Ernest Damali. They are the advisors, and they're amazing because you can just book an appointment with them if you have any questions about immigration or how like you are feeling, or like if you're planning to immigrate to Canada. So there are a lot of resources, but again, it's about looking at the right place for them.
Awesome. So I have a similar question, but more on the social side of things. What has helped you to feel connected, and how have you made friends while you've been here?
Um, that is a really good question, especially because when I came to Canada, I was like a bit late. Sorry. Sorry, because of visa delays. But so like all of my friends were here. Well, not friends at that point in time, and I had missed part of the whole week, well, most of it. So when I came here, I was a little nervous. I was like, how am I gonna make friends? But first night, I remember I was living in Eastridge townhouses. I had no water. I was like, okay, and I was sleeping, but like I was thirsty, so I went and knocked on the door of the person living across the hall. And I was like, do you know if the water in from the sink is drinkable? And she's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And then I left because we don't drink water from the tap at home. And then 2 minutes later, she knocked on my door and she's like, I have a water bottle for you. And we were friends since then.
I love that. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. So I will just ask one more question. Thank you so much for all of your answers. And this is, what is your favorite thing about the University of Guelph? So you've shared so many wonderful experiences with us. What's your favorite thing? It doesn't have to be academic, but it can be. So you could talk about student life or clubs or facilities, or really anything that you have found to be awesome while you're here.
That is a very difficult question. Um, I feel the answer that'll kind of encompass it all is community. Because the community is, Griffin community is really great, and it kind of brings everyone together in its own way, be it like through the resources or the clubs or the events. It's just the community that you build. Like, I know someone I can call in the middle of the night if I'm stranded somewhere. And I met them here. So it's just a community that adds the best part to the university. And yeah.
That's wonderful. So happy to hear. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences, and also for joining us while you're a busy student at a conference. We appreciate the chance to hear from you so much. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, awesome. So we'll keep us moving. Now we're going to speak to some of the elements that I mentioned at the beginning in terms of what is it that our programs will be providing you. So on the next slide, we really get to dig in about what I mentioned related to career readiness, because we know that this is something that's really important when you're trying to pick the area that you're going to study in. And we sometimes hear the question, what can I do with the Bachelor of Arts or with social sciences as my academic background? And we've really looked at that question and said, what is it that you can't do? Because we know that our programs and our degrees are providing students with access to a diverse job market, meaning that the jobs that you could pursue after studying with us are open-ended. You'll be able to apply skills to career pathways that are very vast and broad because of the transferable skills and knowledge that you're gaining throughout our degrees across a wide range of different topics. Through our programs, you get to develop your individual interest. So we know that when you're just finishing up high school and when you're transitioning into university, it can be really, really hard to determine what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life. Or even what the first career is that you want to take. So, what we try and do is set up a very flexible degree structure so that students are allowed to try a variety of different courses to actually see what it is that you like and what it is that you excel at. Then we focus on honing a wide range of skills. So technical skills are definitely valuable within specific roles. We focus on transferable skills that have value across a wide range of different industries and careers. So if you think about skills like critical thinking and analytical thinking and problem solving and presentation skills, creativity and leadership, those are all transferable across a very wide range of careers. And those are the skills that you're honing when you study in the social sciences. And then lastly, we look at the area of career adaptability. So we know that modern careers are focused on mobility. We know that some of the jobs that you will hold in your adult and lives maybe don't even exist yet because the world of work is evolving so quickly. So we focus on transferable skills that you can utilize and build experience through your degree. So it's not necessarily tied to one specific job that could potentially become obsolete in the future, but that you're gaining those transferable skills that you'll be able to use throughout your career. Okay, and then the next area is why we think it's important to focus on engaged citizenship. So we know that the world is changing at a very fast pace. In some cases, there's a positive outcome, while other pathways are leading to destruction and discrimination and oppression. So we can think of issues like climate change, anti-Black racism, broken judicial systems, corrupt politics. And in our college and in our social science programs, we're guiding future leaders. So we're focusing on helping students drive real world change, become passionately engaged in our communities, make ethical and sustainable decisions, as well as openly celebrate inclusivity and diversity. And we know that these are the values that are really important to your current generation. And this is something that's really important that you'll get to focus on through our courses and through our programs. So, just a bit more on that, how we develop socially and environmentally conscious leaders. So, through hands on learning, our students learn that they can make an impact, their own impact on the world. So, we have opportunities like leadership with student organizations. We have field schools where students study abroad for international education. We have co op placements and internships. And then there's collaborative research opportunities. So, I mentioned the course that I teach in international development studies, where students actually get to take on applied research projects on behalf of global organizations. So all of those hands-on skills are helping them learn about the world and how they can be leaders within it, as well as the fact that our courses focus on real-world issues. So if you're interested in equality and human rights, identity, gender, race, and sexuality, social change, environment and sustainability, these are all topics that you'll get to explore through opportunities like experiential learning, community engagement, and that's the focus of our program areas. And then lastly, we focus on flexibility because we know, like I mentioned, it can be really hard to decide right out of high school exactly what it is that you want to do, though some people really do have a strong sense. But overall, we offer a broad range of programs with the flexibility that can match your passion area with your area of study. So we know that it can be hard to decide on the career you want to take, and we make it really easy for you to get to try out different topics to see what is fitting for you. So all across all of our programs, we're focusing on career readiness, but we also give you the time to really think about and reflect on what is it that I'm good at? Where can I see myself succeed? What am I passionate about? And where can I make a difference in the world? So we'll just talk about career outcomes because we know that this is a really important consideration. So here on this slide, you can see some of the fantastic places that our alumni, our student body have ended up after they've graduated with us. But here what I want to say is picture yourself as part of this potential group. So we have successfully launched people out into the world, and you can be one of these people. So we have over 1 million alumni worldwide. So you could think about joining a network of people who would be able to support you wherever you are in the world, wherever you end up in your professional lives and growth. We want you to know that you're not alone once you graduate, that we make connections possible, whether you choose to remain in Canada or you choose to go back home. You'll always be a part of our Seesaws family, and you can always lean on us for support when you're in your professional lives. So on the next slide, this is just some information about me. This is how to get in touch. Hopefully some of the stuff we've shared with you is exciting and interesting and you want to follow up. So here is my email. Here's how you can get in touch with us. When you study with us, you'll put your knowledge and hands-on skills to practice through experience-based learning opportunities such as study abroad and field schools and participation in research with award-winning professors in the social sciences. So we definitely look forward to hearing from you. But before we let you go today, we'll just give you a sense of what are some of the next steps that you can take after this conversation. So as we've mentioned throughout, we have an amazing international support team of people who are here to make sure that you are thriving in your journey, in your academics, and in your campus life. So we have Start International. This is a way to participate in free programs and events to help you transition to Canada and to the University of Guelph. They're incredibly supportive and also very informative and have lots of information to share with you. Through programs and sessions that include what to expect inside and outside of the classroom, what employment looks like in Canada, immigration and settlement information, information related to healthcare and wellness, and financial management tips. Then there's lots and lots of on-campus opportunities for various social events and informational events. We had the introduction to our student advisors. There's lots of fun and exciting events, as I mentioned, and then we also have our campus-wide orientation week. And here are the wonderful folks who provide some of that support. So there's year-round resources throughout the year that are available to you. We have our international student advisors, so that's Ernest and Matt that are on the bottom of the screen there. There's career support workshops, there's international student discussions, clubs and events. There's language support and international experience newsletter so that you're able to consistently get the information that you need. Okay, so last couple of slides here. These are ways to connect with us. So I shared my contact information. That's for any of the academic or program specific information. On this slide here are other ways to get in touch related to admissions. So maybe you have some questions related to what is the admission process like for international students. We also have an amazing opportunity where you get to chat with current students. So we've shared some information with you today, and we know that it can also be really, really helpful to get to talk to students who are either coming from the same country as you or have similar interests as you. So we have a chat system where you're able to connect directly with a current student and ask some of those questions that only a student can answer from a student perspective. There's ways to meet the international team through one-on-one meetings. And of course, we hope that you follow us on social media so that you get all the up-to-date information about admissions and all other wonderful U of G information. Okay, so we'll just take us to our final slide. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do have more time though, so if you have any questions and you'd like to unmute, please feel free to do that. We also have our Q&A, and I see that there's already a question in here. The wonderful Christine is typing a response, but please feel free if you wanted to unmute if you had any other questions or comments. We are here.